Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is here. Do the people of Florida, Governor, do they seem upset about gangbangers getting flown out of the country?
Not at all, Jesse. In fact, we have a very strong Venezuelan American population down in South Florida, and they've been for many years during Biden's whole open borders. They were the ones warning about the people that Venezuela was sending. Those are people that were in the prisons. These were very problematic individuals. Heck, when we did the first flight to Martha's Vineyard, most of those were Venezuelans. People thought the Venezuelan Americans in Florida were going to be upset. They were very happy with that because they knew what was going on. So President Trump's doing the right thing. And, you know, when I hear these sound bites of these legacy media apparatchiks comparing these Venezuelan gang members to Irish immigrants from the 19th century, you know, I'm just thinking legacy media, maybe they should just shut down and start over, because what they're doing is just such a fraud, and the public does not believe a word they say anymore.
And Governor, remind me what the people in the Vineyard did to the people that you flew there. I think they got them out of there almost like what, in 48 hours?
They declared a state of emergency. Yeah. This, mind you, Jesse, was an actual enclave, Martha's Vineyard, that claimed to be a sanctuary jurisdiction. They actually had an office that was supposedly to welcome refugees. I think it was just for virtue signaling. I don't think they actually ever used it, but they declared a state of emergency. They had the National Guard come out, and this was just 50. And they were gone off that island within 48 hours. So just think about these poor Texas border towns having tens of thousands, and the elite liberals told them that they just had to grin and bear it. The minute they had 50 show up in their precious enclave, they flipped out.
Yeah, I think they took them to a military base or something like that, and God knows what happened to them after that. No one ever kept track. What about the Gulf of America? I mean, a month or two after they rename this thing, they get some surprise guests.
Well, I'll tell you what, you know, this is kind of a microcosm for the change we've seen in our country from Biden to President Trump. You know, they do this space mission, you know, they have problems, and they had no way to go and rescue these astronauts. And they're just up there. Now we have a new president, President Trump, of course, working with Elon Musk. And they go up and they bring these guys back. So, yeah, it landed not far from where we are in Tallahassee, in that part of the Gulf. And so I think it was an important thing to happen. But I also think symbolically it shows that we're a country that can get things done again. Under Biden, we were just a country that was continually stubbing our toe because of his ineptitude.
All right. Well, the legacy media is still calling it the Gulf of Mexico. They actually said it was off Florida's coast. So I think we'll get there eventually. We just have to be patient, Governor.
In Florida, all of our stuff, we did an executive order. We're referring to it as Gulf of America. I know the legislature will probably do some things to solidify that as well. So we're proud of it.
All right. Well, name something for me down there if you have a chance. We appreciate all your support. Thank you so much. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.